The flower market of Old Delhi begins to breathe before the sun does. At 4:47 a.m., when the sky is still the color of a bruised plum, Amara walks barefoot through the wet cobblestone lane, carrying a plastic bucket of freshly cut tuberoses. Her dupatta trails behind her like a prayer flag. She is 22 years old, but her eyes have the quiet weight of someone who has already learned that life does not give you more than you can carry, it gives you exactly what you cannot, and then watches you stagger. Her father, once a clerk in a government office, now lies on a cot in a room the size of a closet. His kidneys have surrendered one by one, like soldiers in a losing war. Her mother, a woman whose laughter used to fill their small home like sunlight, has not laughed in 11 months. She only counts rupees, pills, days, breaths. So Amara counts too. But differently. She counts petals. Stems. The way a marigold opens its face to the morning, even when its roots are rotting. She talks to the wilting flowers nobody buys, whispering, just one more day. One more day of trying. That is where Vikrant first sees her. He is sitting in the back of a black Mercedes that costs more than her entire street. The windows are tinted so dark they look like mirrors. He watches her through the glass, watches her arrange marigolds into a garland, watches her pause to wipe sweat from her forehead with the back of her wrist, watches her smile at a broken sunflower like it deserves love anyway. Vikrant is 38. He has killed his first man at 17, a rival who had insulted his mother. The second at 19. By 25, he stopped counting. His hands are clean on the outside and red on the inside. He owns half the illegal trade in 3 states. His name is whispered in police stations and funeral pyres. People cross the street when they see his car. Women look away. Men look down. And yet, this girl is not looking away. She is looking at him. Not with fear. Not with desire. With simple, human curiosity, the way you look at a stray dog standing at the edge of a road, wondering if it bites or if it just needs someone to say come inside. He steps out of the car. The morning light hits his face. He is handsome in the way broken things are handsome, sharp angles, shadows under his eyes, a mouth that has forgotten how to smile without calculating something first. A drunk man is shouting at an old woman, snatching her purse. Amara flinches. Vikrant does not. He simply walks past, extends his leg at the exact right moment, and the drunk man flies forward, face first into a stack of empty crates. The purse falls. Vikrant picks it up, hands it to the old woman. Does not say a word. The old woman scurries away. Amara stares. Why did you help her? She asks. Vikrant turns. For the first time in 15 years, he does not have an answer prepared. No threat. No lie. Just a strange, hollow honesty. Because I wanted to see if I still could. She tilts her head. Help someone? Feel something. A long pause. A vendor shouts in the distance. A cow ambles past, indifferent. Then Amara does something that will ruin Vikrant's life in the most beautiful way possible. She laughs. Not a polite laugh. A real one. Her nose crinkles. Her shoulders shake. She covers her mouth with her palm, embarrassed by her own joy. You are a strange man, she says. I am, he agrees. And then, because he has never asked anyone for anything without a gun or a bribe, can I buy a flower? She picks a single jasmine. Fresh. Still wet with dew. Hands it to him. For you, she says. Free. Because you helped her. He takes it. Puts it in his breast pocket. Right over his heart. He does not know yet that he will keep that jasmine until it turns brown and crumbles into dust. He does not know yet that he will press the dust into a locket and wear it for the rest of his life. All he knows, standing there in the flower market, is that he has spent 20 years building a kingdom of fear, and now, for the first time, he wants to build something that does not require a single locked door. Part 2. The lion learns to bleed. He comes back the next day. And the next. And the next. Always at the same time, 6:17 a.m., after his morning meeting with men who call him sir and mean master. He brings her tea from the stall 2 streets away, because she mentioned once that their sugar ratio is perfect. He notices things. The way she bites her lower lip when she's worried. The way her hands tremble slightly when she counts the day's earnings. The way she touches her father's photo before she starts work, every single morning without fail. He does not tell her who he is. When she asks, he says, "I am an import-export." It is not a lie. He imports fear. He exports pain. But when she looks at him with those wide, trusting eyes, he feels something he has not felt since childhood: shame. One evening, she invites him to her home. It is a small room. A single bulb. A cot where her father lies, thin as a skeleton, breathing in short, painful bursts. Her mother stirs a pot of watery dal. The walls are patched with newspaper. And yet, on the windowsill, there is a small pot of blooming jasmine. Amara has grown it from a cutting. Watered it with love when there was no money for fertilizer. Vikrant stands in that room and feels his chest crack open. He has sat in palaces. Eaten off gold plates. Watched men beg. But this small, crumbling room filled with a dying man, a tired woman, and a girl who still grows flowers, this is the most powerful thing he has ever seen. He wants to protect it. But he does not know how to protect without destroying. That night, he calls his accountant. "Transfer 50 lakhs to this hospital account," he says, giving the name of Amara's father's dialysis center. Anonymous. If anyone asks, say it's a government scheme. His accountant hesitates. "Sir, that's..." "Do it." He hangs up. Sits in the dark. The jasmine from that first morning is now brown and curled on his desk. He touches it. What am I becoming? Part 3. The trap dressed as a gift. Her father's treatment begins. Amara does not understand. The bills are paid. The doctors are kinder. The medicines arrive like magic. She prays. She thanks God. She does not suspect the man who sits across from her every morning, watching her with hungry, guilty eyes. But Vikrant knows. This is not kindness. This is a cage being built, brick by brick, with the mortar of her gratitude. He tells himself he will tell her the truth. Tomorrow. Next week. After her father is better. But tomorrow becomes next week, becomes a month. And then the moment comes. Her father is sitting up. Eating. Smiling. The doctors say he will live. Amara cries with relief. And then she turns to Vikrant, who has been visiting every evening, sitting quietly in the corner, holding her mother's hand during the hard days. "My father is alive because of you," she says. He opens his mouth to deny it. To tell her the money was anonymous. To keep the lie alive a little longer. But she keeps talking. "Vikrant, I have nothing to give you. No money. No status. But I can give you my life." She takes a breath. "Marry me." The world stops. He stares at her. This girl who grew jasmine from a cutting. This girl who talks to dying flowers. This girl who has no idea that she is offering her hand to a man whose hands have strangled, stabbed, and buried. He should say no. He should walk away. He should burn his own heart to ash before he lets her touch it. Instead, he says yes. And in that single word, he damns them both. The wedding is small. A registrar's office. 2 witnesses, his men, pretending to be cousins. Amara wears a simple red sari and jasmine in her hair. Vikrant wears a black sherwani and a smile that does not reach his eyes. When the registrar says, "Do you take this woman?" Vikrant's voice cracks. "For life," he says. He means it. That is the terrible part. He means it more than he has ever meant anything. But meaning does not make a lie true. Meaning does not wash blood off hands. He puts the ring on her finger. She looks up at him with pure, unbroken trust. And Vikrant, the man who has never feared death, feels true terror for the first time. One day she will know. And I will lose her. Part 4. The honeymoon of ghosts. The first 3 months are the most beautiful and the most painful of his life. She paints the bedroom yellow because you need sunshine, she says. She buys a stray puppy from the street, names it Champy, and teaches it to sleep on Vikrant's chest. She cooks dal that is too salty and rotis that are too hard, and Vikrant eats every bite like a starving man because no one has ever cooked for him without wanting something in return. At night, she falls asleep in his arms. He holds her and listens to her breathe. She smells like jasmine and soap. He smells like gunpowder and secrets. He takes calls in the bathroom. Whispers orders. Men die. Money moves. The empire continues. But every time he comes back to bed, he washes his hands 3 times before touching her. If I wash enough, will I become clean? One night, she wakes up crying from a nightmare. What happened? He asks, pulling her close. I dreamed you left, she sobs. You just disappeared, and I couldn't find you anywhere. He holds her tighter. I will never leave you. Promise? He looks into her eyes. In the dark, he can pretend he is someone else. Someone who deserves her. I promise. He kisses her forehead. She falls back asleep. He stays awake until dawn, staring at the ceiling, wondering if there is any version of this story where he does not destroy her. Part 5. The Drawer of Truth. It happens on a Tuesday. She is looking for a candle. The power has gone out. The monsoon rain is hammering the windows. She opens the drawer in his study, the one he said contained old business papers. She finds a gun, a knife with dried brown stains, a photograph of Vikrant standing next to a man whose face is on every wanted poster in the country, and a diary. She opens it. Her hands are shaking. June 3rd, killed Ramesh today. He was begging. I felt nothing. July 14th, Amara smiled at me. I felt everything. August 21st, I am a monster wearing a husband's skin. She reads every page, every confession, every murder, every lie. The rain pounds the windows. Thunder shakes the walls. When Vikrant comes home, he is smiling. He has bought her a new plant, a small jasmine sapling. He holds it up like a gift. Amara? I got you. She is standing in the middle of the room. The gun is in her hand. Her face is white. Her eyes are red. You, she whispers, are a killer. The plant falls from his hands. The pot shatters. Soil spreads across the floor like a small grave. Amara, let me explain. Explain? Her voice breaks. You lied to me. You tricked me into marrying you. You paid for my father's treatment with blood money. She raises the gun. Her hands are trembling so hard she can barely hold it. Who are you? He does not move. Does not flinch. I am the man who loves you, he says quietly. And I am the man who has done unforgivable things. Both are true. You are a liar. Yes. You are a monster. Yes. Did you ever love me? Or was I just something to own? He takes a step forward. The gun is inches from his chest. I loved you the first moment I saw you, he says. And I have hated myself every day since, because I knew I would destroy you. That is not an excuse. That is not an apology. That is just the truth. She pulls the trigger. The gun clicks. Empty. He had removed the bullets 2 weeks ago. He knew. Some part of him always knew this day would come. She throws the gun at his feet. Tears are streaming down her face. The jasmine in her hair has fallen out, crushed under her own feet. I never want to see you again, she says. And she walks out into the rain. He does not follow her. He falls to his knees, picks up a single crushed jasmine petal, holds it in his palm. And for the first time since he was 7 years old, Vikrant cries. Not silent tears. Not the controlled grief of a man who has learned to bury everything. He cries like a child. Loud. Ugly. Unashamed. The rain covers the sound. Part 6. The Long, Cruel Months. She goes to a village. A small nursery on the edge of a forest. She lives in a room above the greenhouse, surrounded by ferns and peace lilies. She does not tell anyone her real name. She cuts her hair short. She stops wearing jasmine. The first month, she feels nothing but rage. The second month, the rage turns to grief. The third month, the grief turns to something worse, memory. She remembers the way he held her when she had nightmares. The way he ate her burnt rotis without complaint. The way he danced with her in the kitchen to old songs, his hand on her waist, his face soft and unguarded. Was any of it real? She does not know. And not knowing is worse than knowing. One morning, she finds an envelope under her door. No name. No return address. Inside, photographs. Vikrant alone in their old apartment. He is thinner. His beard is unkempt. He is sleeping on her side of the bed, holding her old dupatta like a child holds a blanket. Another photo. The apartment is empty. No furniture. No paintings. Just a single jasmine plant on the windowsill. On the back of the last photo, in handwriting she knows too well. I sold everything. The business. The house. The blood money. I am nothing now. But I am still yours. Please. Just one cup of tea. She burns the photos. Watches them turn to ash. Then she digs through the ash with her bare hands, finds a corner of a photo that survived, and presses it to her heart. Part 7. The train station. She finds him in a small room in a poor part of the city. No guards. No luxury. No gun. Just a small bed, a stove, a puppy, Champy, grown now, fat and happy, and her paintings on the wall, every one she had ever made, even the ugly ones. He is sitting on the floor, repairing a torn sari. Her sari. The one she wore the day she left. He looks up. You came, he whispers. I came to say goodbye properly, she says. He nods. Does not beg. Does not cry. He makes her tea. His hands shake so badly he spills half of it. She sees his wrists. New scars. Not from suicide attempts, from trying to cut out the tattoo of his gang symbol. A crude, brutal attempt to remove his own skin. Why, she asks, pointing at the scars. Because I wanted to be someone else, he says. Someone you could love without shame. She sits down across from him. The tea grows cold. Tell me everything, she says. No more lies. And he does. He tells her about the first man he killed. A rival who had beaten his mother. He was 17. He thought it was justice. It became addiction. He tells her about the second man. The 10th. The 50th. How after a while, they stopped being people and started being problems to solve. He tells her about the emptiness. The cold. The way power feels like a fire that burns everything except the cold inside you. And then he tells her about the flower market. The girl with the jasmine hair. The first time in 15 years that he felt something other than hunger for more. I did not deserve to even look at you, he says. But I was selfish. I wanted to feel human again. And I used you to do it. That is not love, she says quietly. No, he agrees. That is theft. I stole your choice. And I will spend the rest of my life trying to give it back. Silence. The puppy comes and puts its head on her lap. She strokes its ears without thinking. Did you really leave the business? She asks. I burned it down. Told my enemies where to find my weapons. Told the police where to find my men. I have nothing left. No money. No power. No protection. He looks at her. Just hope. Hope for what? That you might look at me one day without disgust. She is quiet for a long time. The clock on the wall ticks. The puppy snores. Then she picks up the cold tea. Drinks it. I am still angry, she says. You should be. I may never fully forgive you. I know. But, she says, and her voice cracks, I am tired of being angry alone. She reaches across the table. Takes his scarred hand. He breaks. Not into tears, into something deeper. A sob that comes from his bones. He falls to his knees and presses his forehead to her feet. I don't deserve this, he says. No, she agrees. You don't. But I am not giving you what you deserve. I am giving you what I choose to give. She pulls him up. Wipes his face with her dupatta. Prove it, she says. Every day. For the rest of your life. I already started, he whispers. Part 8. The Flower Farm. 1 year later, they live in a small town in the hills. He works at her nursery. Carries soil. Waters plants. Learns to be gentle. His hands, which once held knives, now hold watering cans. His voice, which once ordered deaths, now whispers to seedlings, grow. Just grow. He still has nightmares. He wakes up screaming, reaching for a gun that is no longer there. She wakes him with cold water and a kiss. You are here, she says. You are safe. You are good. I was never good, he says. You are becoming good. That is harder. And braver. She is pregnant now. Her belly is round. She glows like the sun. They sit under a banyan tree at sunset. The flower farm spreads around them, marigolds, roses, jasmine. Champy the puppy, now old and gray, sleeps at their feet. Tell me the truth, she says. All of it. One more time. He takes a breath. I lied to marry you. I tricked you. I was a monster. I killed men. I destroyed families. I built an empire on bones. She nods. And now? Now I wake up every morning and choose to be a good man. For you. For this baby. For the flowers that trust me to water them. She leans her head on his shoulder. I still get angry sometimes, she says. I know. But I also love you. Not the lie. Not the mask. The man who cried eating my doll. The man who kept my jasmine in his pocket for 2 years. The man who cut his own skin to become someone new. He cries. She wipes his tears. We will tell our child everything, she says. That love is not always clean. That people can change. That forgiveness is the bravest thing. And that lies break, he says. But truth, even late, builds a home. She kisses him. The sun sets behind the hills. The jasmine blooms. Epilogue. 10 years later. A small girl with jasmine in her hair runs through the flower fields, laughing. A man with gray at his temples and scars on his wrists chases her, pretending to be a monster. Papa, you can't catch me. Oh no. I am the terrible flower-eating monster. Papa, you're silly. Yes, he says, scooping her up. I am. His wife watches from the porch, her belly round again. She is smiling. He walks to her, kisses her forehead. The same forehead he kissed on their wedding night, when he was a liar and a killer and a man already falling in love. Thank you, he whispers. For what? For not giving up on me. She touches his face. You gave up on yourself first. I just waited for you to find your way back. The little girl tugs his shirt. Papa, tell me the story of how you met Mama. He looks at his wife. She nods. Once upon a time, he says, there was a very bad man who saw a very good girl selling flowers. That's not how you start a love story, the girl says. He laughs. A real laugh. Deep from his stomach. Maybe not, he says. But it's how this one starts. And he tells her everything. Not the sanitized version. Not the fairy tale. The truth. Because that, he has finally learned, is the only thing that lasts longer than jasmine. The end. He spent 20 years ruling the underworld. He spent the rest of his life watering roses. And somewhere in between, a girl with jasmine in her hair taught him that even the most withered soul can bloom again.